been a year that I moved to Europe from India, and I kind of wanted to share my experience as a woman, how it feels to be outside India, and is it safe, it's not safe, or I wanted to tell the whole experience for like women who are planning to move abroad or women who are not even planning to move abroad. I just wanted to share like it's a different perspective. Before I start, I wanted to give a bit of like a summary. I lived in India for like 30 years. I was born and brought up in Kanpur, UP. After that, I moved to Gujarat for my graduation. Then I moved to Bombay. I lived there for like 6-7 years. Meanwhile, I was like jumping around to like these different cities. Like I lived in Delhi. I lived in Himachal. Yeah, basically like I lived and I've been to like different parts of the country. I've never been to like South India. The most South India I've been to like Mumbai, or I would say Goa and Bangalore. Yeah, I've been to Bangalore. I lived there for like a brief amount of time, but yeah, I don't consider like I know. 1 year back, I decided to move to Europe, specifically Portugal. My reason were like very personal. I've never ever imagined myself to live or move to any other country. That was never in my list or wish list. So it was very new for me. It was very unexpected and things happened. So I kept my open mind. I was like, oh, let's do that, because kind of felt right to do that. So yeah, it's been 1 year. I would go with like my first impression, how I felt before moving to Europe. When I was in India, I could have never ever imagined that how is the life in Europe. Even though the person I was dating, the person who is my husband, is Portuguese, he used to tell me like how different it is. He can tell from his experiences of his women in his life, but I never had that perspective of women. When you don't see the other side of the reality, you kind of try to imagine, but your imagination is stuck to the reality which you are facing, which you are in. So I landed here. It was shocking for me. I saw the landscapes, I saw the buildings, arrived here at night, and it was completely different. For me, it was like, okay, these Google images, they don't lie all the time. They exist, like these kind of beauty, these kind of sceneries, they exist, but that's not the part of the topic. So as a woman, I had like these observations. All I used to do is like observe people. Also, there are very few people, so every time I used to see, I was like, okay, I was like observing like a magnifying glass how things work there here. A thing I noticed is like women here, they can literally wear anything. They can be wearing like a really teeny tiny crop top and the teeny tiny shorts or whatever, and no one looks at them. And I was like, okay, that's new for me. Even if we go to Goa or anything, places where you can wear certain clothes, but always find people, one person at least, who's gonna look at your boobs or look at your ass or look at your body in a very weird way, in a very uncomforting way. Here, like women, they were passing the road, they were walking, and they're like, it was so shocking for me. Like no one was really giving a fuck about them. I was like, wow. For me, that was so different. Honestly, I never had this experience ever before in my whole life. So Bombay for me was like slightly different, but you always find one person, who's gonna look at you like in a very weird way if you're wearing something revealing. That made me feel that I lived my life in a way, even though I was like, I come from a very orthodox family. I decided to live my life in my own ways. I was working like after 17, I did my college, and after that, after college, I was working all the time. I was earning my own money, paying my own bills, doing every single thing which is related to my life by myself, not taking any help from anyone. So that's how I lived my life. So I used to think like, okay, yes, I think I am like a very empowered, independent woman in my country. I used to feel like so lucky and so fortunate about it that I reached to that point where I can do my things alone. But when I moved here, I realized that being independent doesn't mean that you are empowered. And I'll explain you why. You can be earning your money, you can be doing anything, but when you walk out of your house and if you're not feeling safe, what's the point of earning that money? I can understand you can have a lot of money and you can be like going in the cars with the bouncers and everything, but do you think that's the life? Do you think that's how you should feel like in your own country? You should have like freedom to go out and to wear whatever you want. And sometimes women, they just wear full clothes and people stare. So I was like, maybe I was independent, but I was not empowered. I don't know if I'm putting it right or if I'm using the right terms, but I never felt comfortable going out at night. I never felt comfortable wearing certain clothes. I remember I was in Delhi, I used to go to the gym. It was like 5 minutes away from my house. So generally I used to walk. In like summers, I used to wear like sometimes these shorts and the t-shirt. Forget about the men. Sometimes I found women is staring at my legs, like, that stare, that uncomfortable stare. It's not a good feeling. I joined gym in India in multiple cities a few times. I went to the gym, and if you enter the gym there, you will find like one creepy guy or one creepy trainer who's gonna try to be like very nice to you or make you feel uncomfortable, or there'll be like one uncle who's just staring at your ass if you're doing squats. You always find that one irritating guy, even though they're not touching you, they're not doing anything, but they are looking at you in a certain way. Maybe I was the unlucky one, but for some reason I always found that guy in Indian gyms. Always. When I joined the gym here, I saw women wearing anything, of course, like activewear, but you cannot imagine Indian women wearing similar kind of clothes inside the gym. When I moved here, I saw that no one really was giving a fuck about any other person. No one was really staring at women in any sense. Everyone was working out on their own, and it was so comfortable for me, even though I was a bit uncomfortable about my body, and sometimes I didn't wear certain clothes to the gym. But here no one really cared. When no one is looking at you, you feel so comfortable and so safe to do your things. You feel like that you have your own, it feels like that you are in public but you are in private. People give you space. Also, I'm not saying that this is the case everywhere. I'm sure like there are creepy people in the gym in other countries also. I'm not saying that everyone is same, but the majority is in India. Like you see these people everywhere, almost everywhere. I started sneezing. Sorry. Also, I wanted to talk about this other stuff is wearing bikini or swimsuits. I feel this is such a hard thing for Indian women to do, because first of all, there is only one place you can wear the bikini, or you can think about wearing the bikini freely, is Goa. I have been to Goa like for many times, and sometimes I used to buy the bikinis or swimsuit and keep it in my bag, pack it nicely for the Goa trip. Whenever I used to reach Goa, I'm like, okay, I'm not getting this, the courage to wear it and just go on the beach. And when I moved here, I posted a reel about it, and I found out a lot of Indian women, they don't feel comfortable. And I'll tell you why I never felt comfortable. I couldn't afford to go to the places where there are private beaches. So I was always in around those places where there are like public beaches. So Indian people, they are fine if you are a foreigner and you're wearing a bikini on the beach, even though like some people, they like literally scan them like from top to bottom. If you are an Indian girl and you're wearing a bikini, it kind of feels like you are, I don't know how to explain this feeling, but people just look at you in a very mean way. Sometimes you even see the comments. That was the reason that I never ever felt comfortable wearing swimsuits like in Goa. So when I moved here, I was like, okay, if I am going to the beaches and if I'm not wearing swimsuit or anything, and if I want to like just enjoy and chill there, it's abnormal. I can't wear full clothes in the beach. I went with my husband to the beach, and that was my first summer, and he said like take the swimsuit, and I decided to go on Mondays, so I find no crowd. There were like few people. I wore the bikini. I was so conscious. First of all, I was conscious about my body. I saw like some women, they're wearing and flaunting the hell out of it, like just without getting conscious. That encouraged me, and that was like, okay, doesn't matter what body type you have fat, you have tummy, it really doesn't matter, because it is literally a dress code. It's understood that if you're going to the beach, if you're gonna go inside the sea, that you'll have to wear swimsuit, and it's not related to you being a slut or you being a bad girl or you being like a characterless girl. It's not related to that. It's just a dress code. I am still trying to be comfortable, because I have like these things inside me that makes me feel bad. It feels like I am a bad girl, like every time you wear short clothes in India, you get slut shamed. That is like deep inside you. I wanted to share like this one more experience. Like, one day I was not feeling good. I just I was not in a good mood, so I decided to go for a walk, and it was 10 p.m. I was walking in this city. You don't see a lot of people outside, feeling a bit scared that I'm walking alone. What if someone comes and do like bad things? And I realized that this country is safe. I can rely on police if something bad happens. Even though I was walking alone and people were crossing like a few cars and things, no one really looked at me. No one asked any comment. I never felt a feeling that someone is gonna harm me or feeling the bad vibe. I was like kind of eye opening for me. I was like, okay, that's how freedom looks like. I have these things inside me. I have like my guards alerted all the time whenever I'm alone, because I am born in the country where it's not safe for women. Even though if it's like a metro city, it's not safe. For me, it is such a big change. It took me really, really hard and so much time. I can trust the system. I can be safe here. I am safe here, and I'll have to remind it myself again and again to not feel like guarded all the time. And you don't know what freedom looks like until you experience it. I have made this video on my husband's channel, and a lot of Indian men, they started coming and like talking shit. How can you talk about India like this and blah blah blah? That's how it is. Like, and sadly, most of these comments, they come from these men. Also, I moved with my husband, so he's European, his family is European. When I see like these family dynamics, and when I see in India how you treat your ghar ki bahu in most of the places, there is a huge difference. No one really asked me to be the perfect daughter-in-law. You can have your faults, you can live with it. If you don't know how to cook, no one is gonna force you, no one's gonna say anything. You are basically treated well, and I'm saying that I can be lucky in that case, but I'm sure like there are a lot of families that they don't treat the same manner, but there is a huge difference from India. No one really asked you to be a perfect mother or perfect daughter or perfect wife. When you don't have this burden of like being a perfect woman in your life, it gives you so much of wisdom. It gives you so much of like a mental space to think about yourself, because now that I know, and I'm sure like a lot of women who are living abroad, they know how it feels to feel safe, how it feels to feel empowered, how it feels to walk carefree, and how it feels to have like mental space. I just wish that a lot of Indian women, they can experience the same and they can feel the true sense of empowerment. Also, I want to say that I'm sure like there are bad people in other countries. I'm not saying this like everything is gold, but if we go and check the majority, I think living abroad as a Indian woman, and from the women's perspective, I think I feel so much better and safe here than India. If I could do anything in future, I would love to do that, and that's also one of the reasons I am making these kind of videos. So I would love to put any kind of impact. So yeah, I just wanted to share my experience, and thank you so much for watching.